Good evening, my friends. Daniel Miller here. Welcome to our video gaming news podcast. I've been considering whether to bring it back in a separate format compared to what we were doing so far, and it just appeared to be a good idea to be running it in a separate section when we really could just focus on the daily news and everything that's been happening in the video gaming industry. As you know, every single day we read out the news and we focus on all the developments that are happening. But today is the first test podcast of our video gaming news, and we'll start with Friday the 20th of September 2019. We are going to be indeed looking at all that's been happening on the day, and indeed we'll be following all the news as provided to us by Videogamer.com, Games Radar, Games Informer and IGN. So today we have lots of exciting news. They introduce Gearbox addresses Borderlands 3, Apex Legends Season 3, which will officially introduce crypto, Minecraft, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Warframe developer, etc. etc. So we'll start first of all with Borderlands 3. We've heard that Gearbox addresses Borderlands 3 technical troubles with official help guide. So Gearbox has published an official help guide for troubleshooting technical issues with Borderlands 3 for PC and consoles, while it is focusing on permanent solutions, and that's coming to us via Games Radar. Borderlands 3 launched last week, but unfortunately it was not really smooth sailing for the third installment of the cel-shaded looter shooter. It experienced major performance issues on every platform, as stated by countless reports from players on Gearbox forums and the Borderlands subreddit. The PS4 Pro and Xbox One X versions struggled to maintain targeted frame rates in both resolution and performance mode, whereas PS4s and Xbox Ones could barely reach 30 FPS. So PC players were plagued with crashes and corrupted saves, and bugs such as intense menu lag, disappearing quest markers, multiplayer issues, and all sorts of troubleshooting issues which were freezing, frustrated many who had been waiting for the next Borderlands game for almost 7 years. So now Gearbox has released the Borderlands 3 troubleshooting and optimization guide to lend you a helping hand with the technical hiccups. In the spirit of transparency, we'd like to acknowledge reports of certain performance and quality concerns that some players have raised. Gearbox said, "We are working to investigate and address these issues as necessary, as quickly as possible, and will keep the community updated as we have more information to share." So the guide covers redeeming rewards from pre-orders, to corrupted saves, to frame rate stuttering, to buggy co-op play, and across all platforms. If the problem is not listed among these, Gearbox asks that the player contacts the 2K support team for direct assistance. It assures the community that it is focusing on permanent solutions to the concerns. In short, go to the guide, fix the issues, and then just crack on. So these are news coming from Borderlands 3 headquarters. And indeed, as we've heard, lots of issues in there. And hopefully once you're accessing the guide, you'll be able to resolve some of those. The next lot of news is related to Apex Legends Season 3, and we've heard that the Season 3 will officially introduce crypto. Apex Legends Season 3 will begin on October the 1st, so that's just a few days away, and with it comes a new hero, a new weapon, and a new battle pass boasting over 100 exclusive cosmetics, as announced by EA and Respawn Entertainment. Crypto has popped up in the Season 2 launch trailer, on banners in King's Canyon, in data-mined files, and a leak from the GameStop Managers Conference. Hints that the big changes coming to the Battle Royale were found on screens, showing a description progress bar and a glitchy announcer. Even Respawn developers acted surprised by Crypto's handiwork, and yesterday players were actually running into Crypto, who was busy hacking terminals in a disused room over in Labs. So now Crypto has officially been unveiled with the announcement of Apex Legends' third competitive season, Meltdown. A short animated trailer shed a little light on who they were and how the Crypto Alliance came to be. Regarding their abilities, Respawn has not specified anything, but we could assume that they'd involve hacking and using a little drone that accompanies the hero, as well as Crypto and the robot. Meltdown will bring a new weapon, and the charge rifle is an energy weapon that seems to pack a punch, but details are scant on how that will work. This season's Battle Pass will also include over 100 exclusive new items and new legendary skins. So as you know, Season 3 will kick off on October 1st and will update the scoring system in ranked play so that players will secure more points for eliminating the competition and placing high. In addition, the score multiplier will take into account assistant kills, and all players' ranks will decrease to a maximum of 1.5 tiers when Meltdown begins so that everyone will start fresh. So as you know, Apex Legends is freely available on all platforms for everyone to enjoy on PC, PS4 and Xbox One, and the Season 3 will begin on October the 1st. So if you're interested, you can also see the trailer. The trailer is called Stories from the Outlands Forever Family, and you can simply head to Apex Legends YouTube channel, or indeed you can go to videogamer.com and watch the trailer. Minecraft is getting a character creator in its next update. Well, we've heard a bit about that already, and we've just seen from the developer that they will receive a character creator feature in the next update, and it is currently being trialed in the game's beta build. We are getting this information through Eurogamer.com. Minecraft players have almost always had the ability to customize their look with skins, downloading duds like Perry the Play Pups, Luffy and One Piece and Ant-Man, or making their own. Now the new character creator offers even more customization options for players without phasing out traditional skins. The beta is currently only available on Xbox One, Windows 10 and Android versions of Minecraft, but the new patch. The patch notes will give a few details of what players can expect from the new tool. Personalization options include body size, shape, limb replacement, as well as different eyes, mouths, hairstyles and skin tones. 100 customization options will be added for free, with a range of accessories made by Mojang developers available for purchase. Once beta testing of the feature has completed, the character creator will roll out for all the Bedrock platforms and Minecraft Earth. And if you're interested, you can see some of it on Minecraft character creator video, which would have come out on September the 19th, and it is available through the YouTube channel. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's next fighter could be a Tales of Symphonia character. So that's quite exciting. The fans think they've sussed out the 5th DLC fighter coming to the game through a tweet from a prominent Tales of Symphonia voice actor, and that we are getting through Game Rant and for Videogamer.com, of course. Although players will not see their favourite movie superheroes in Smash, the crossover fighting game is crammed with characters from all kinds of video game series. Joker Persona 5 was the first DLC hero, followed by the appearance of Dragon Quest hero Banjo and Kazooie, went live in the game a few weeks ago, and Terry Bogard will land on the scene in November. But now a tweet from voice actor Scott Menville had sent Smash fans into a spiral of speculation. He voices Lloyd Irving, the main character of Tales of Symphonia, which is considered to be a classic GameCube title and one of the most beloved games in the series. So Menville said that he's part of a cool voiceover project that required a non-disclosure agreement, inferring that it's something of significance. Tales of Symphonia is connected to Nintendo due to its status as a classic GameCube title, and Bandai Namco assisted in the development of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, so perhaps Bandai Namco characters will be added to the game as extra little thank you from Nintendo. So as you know, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is out now for Nintendo Switch. As you can see on our screen, we have a beautiful Warframe Fortuna screensaver, and we've heard from Warframe developer that they are addressing some recent review bombing from the Warframe community, and they said our Chinese community is really very important to us. Digital Extremes, the developer of looter shooter Warframe, has responded to the recent review bombing sparked by disagreement with the volunteer translator and the game's definition of Hong Kong and Taiwan as independent countries. We're getting this through usgamer.net. G, a volunteer working on the Chinese translation of Warframe, was dismissed from their post by Digital Extremes. They posted a letter of termination onto Reddit and other forums. It claimed G had publicly shared internal information about the localization process, private conversations with digital extreme developers, and information about unrelated content. It also said that G had fallen out with Digital Extreme staff. G's account stated that they had a problem with Digital Extreme's awful Chinese translation, and compared it to a machine translation. They admitted that they were talking to the Chinese Warframe community about their work, but did not specify what topics had come up in conversation. So many players had come to Global Build, and I'm kind of like the bridge between the players and the DE members. With a volunteer tag, they can trust me on really fix the translation. That is what G said. Digital Extremes posted a public statement earlier this week which explained the reasons why a volunteer would be dismissed. We do not remove people from our volunteer programs lightly, and such removals are made after great consideration. Our volunteers are provided with a list of program guidelines and a recently added volunteer agreement that allow us to share unreleased information with them. Sometimes a violation of these guidelines occurs, which prompts us to remind 10 of them. If a volunteer repeatedly transgresses the agreement, removal from our volunteer programs is necessary. So speaking to the USgamer.net, the Warframe developer addressed the fact that Hong Kong and Taiwan are listed as countries within the game, and the ensuing wave of negative reviews from players. Our Chinese community is very, very important to us, and we are continuing to work with them and listen to their concerns and feedback, address the concerns and ensure their needs are met, the representative stated. Warframe is still suffering from review bombings, but Valve has now made it clearer as to whether negative reviews are part of a strategy such as this or a player's independent conclusions of the game. Recent negative reviews have been tagged as off-topic with an asterisk. Clicking the asterisk brings up the message, and this time range has been marked as containing an abnormal set of reviews that we believe are largely unrelated to the likelihood that you would enjoy the product. The reviews within this period are excluded from the review score by default. Well, obviously you know that Warframe is out now for PC, Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch. It's free to play, so you should simply jump in and try the game. Everyone who is a Destiny fan and follower will indeed be delighted. Also a very grindy game, so if you like Destiny 2, you are going to be very, very happy with all that you will see there. Lengthy grinds, I can assure you. So all of our Destiny friends and fans and veterans will be indeed enjoying some of those lengthy activities. We've heard some interesting news related to Batman and Fortnite. We heard that Fortnite is teasing a crossover event scheduled for Batman Day. So a Fortnite X Batman reveal live stream on the Fortnite YouTube channel has been set for September the 21st, coinciding with Batman Day and implying the game's next comic crossover. And that's through GameSpot, the news we are acquiring through them. Currently the Batman Arkham Collection and Lego Batman Trilogy is free to claim on the Epic Games Store. And also for us who are members of the PlayStation Now services, we can access some of those instantly there. That is 6 games that are worth almost £100 altogether, which is virtually daylight robbery. But at the end of the day, it seems like the Batman's policy on that, because altogether, along with this leaked Fortnite update, showed that Batman-themed items like a grapple gun and explosive batarang are coming to the Battle Royale rather soon. Fortnite is literally approaching this crossover event with previous themes including Borderlands, Stranger Things, Marvel Avengers and John Wick. The Avengers event allowed players to become Thanos and wield the Infinity Blade, although this was considered to be too powerful and needed to be nerfed. It's possible that the Batman event could offer the Dark Cape for players to wear and swish around the map, but for now we'll just wait until the live stream begins on Batman Day at 1:00 PM British Standard Time. Fortnite, as you know, is free to play on all platforms. It's out now. You can play it on iOS, Android, Xbox One, PC, PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch. And if you're interested, also there are some interesting videos both on YouTube and elsewhere. One of those is called Fortnite X Batman in Australia. That is on Fortnite YouTube channel. You can also access it through videogamer.com. So if you're interested, just hop in, have a look, enjoy. And I can certainly tell you, I absolutely love playing Fortnite at the Microsoft Store, their new flagship store in Europe, which is on Oxford Street, Oxford Circus to be precise. and I played it on a massive 80-inch screen. They have one of the best setups in Europe, fantastic speeds, beautiful resolution as you can imagine on that display. Xbox One X obviously is supplied, and you can just absolutely immerse and indulge and play with all those Fortnite players worldwide. The only thing that you first experience once you started is that you are having a massive advantage because of the setup you're playing it on. So remember, if you're in London, pop in, have a look, join some of us there in Microsoft Store, and indeed try Fortnite on one of those displays. So we have also some news from Sony. They talked about some development related to PSVR, and he said that they still have a lot to learn about it. Shuei Yoshida, the Sony Interactive Entertainment Worldwide Studios boss, said that PlayStation Virtual Reality, or PSVR in short, has great potential, and then that developers have a lot to learn about crafting games for the platform. In an interview with Game Watch, we are getting that through VCF Tech. Earlier this year, Sony announced that PlayStation VR has sold over 4 million units, and although VR isn't quite there yet as a key feature of mainstream gaming, there is a handful of really good games on PSVR. One of them is Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, and it's very, very good. Moss is a lovely and charming storybook adventure, and also, if you recall, Wolfenstein Cyberpilot exploits the premise of VR by placing you in the shell of a remotely piloted robotic soldier. I've not tried it, I've seen some write-ups on it, definitely worth a go, but presently I do not have VR set up on my current PlayStation, and therefore have to wait for a little while. But anyone who is actually trying it and playing it at the moment, please drop us a line, send us a tweet, let us know how you're finding it, and I'll be able to forward indeed that feedback to the developer. We have Mohammed here with us. Hello Mohammed, how are you doing? Good to see you. Thanks very much for joining us. This is a podcast which is entirely focused on video game industry news. It's somewhat separate from the usual gameplay stream, and I'm delivering it in a separate new format on a different setup today for the first time. It's an experiment, so we are going to find out whether it is going to work or not, and I'm very glad that you joined us and you're having a look. Mohammed is asking whether I play Apex. Absolutely. I was involved in the original first 2 weeks of Apex promotion. I played it back to back, many hours. In fact, I broke my own streaming record with Apex, which was 36 hours 45 minutes on Trot, which was astonishing, and I had 6 teams that played it together with me. It was a terrific experience, and I've not played it a lot of late, and the reason for that is that I simply hadn't had time, because of the time constraints. But as they are approaching now, with the new, as the new season is approaching, I will be rejoining the forces with some of my teammates in there, and we'll do extra matches for a while. I still have a lot to do because I actually played it a lot right at the beginning. I've not played season 1 and 2 as much, and I noticed that during the season 2 everything was automated and everything looked very, very different compared to the original, but I thought it was well streamlined and we were progressing forward down the right route. Okay, so let me just carry on with my news. Yoshida said that there is still a long way before virtual reality reaches its full potential for video gaming overall, but he's optimistic about the future of PSVR. I think that the hardware experience will improve the VR experience, and VR has a lot to learn even at companies that have been making games for a long time. I realized that as soon as I started VR, I had to learn a lot because I couldn't do it with normal TV games, but we had to have a lot of different guidelines for danger, but with the developers' ingenuity we were able to see how to do it, and VR makes us think about what the human abilities are, and after 3 years of such knowledge is rapidly growing. He concluded. His comments about the improved hardware is telling, and the PS5 is supposedly coming soon. Assumedly the PSVR would be compatible with the PS5, upping the ante regarding the graphics and performance with its special sauce. So as long as you don't get inside a headset, because obviously that would be rather troubling, says videogamer.com. We've not tried it, we're not sure, but I guess indeed it sounds very, very interesting. And VR certainly is one of those avenues that some of the developers are pursuing. Whether it is going to take off, whether it will be as successful as expected, remains to be seen. I'd just like to remind you, particularly for all of you who are familiar with film industry, at the beginning of this decade, 3D cinema and IMAX 3D were completely overtaking. The vast majority of blockbusters and AAA flicks were being made in that technique. Almost 10 years later, that's no longer the case, because initial enthusiasm had been diluted by many problems with different types of theatres that people were attending or watching 3D films at, and generally they didn't find it to be so excessively exciting or indeed indulging as they expected compared to the ordinary 2D screen. And I think the vast majority of people also prefer 2D screen because the tickets are a lot cheaper. On the other hand, I have to say I did watch quite a few 3D IMAX films, inclusive of the blockbusters like Transformers and Star Wars, and the very best one of which was Gravity, Alfonso Cuarón's film, and with Sandra Bullock and George Clooney. And that film excelled in every way imaginable in terms of its capacity to immerse, and the picture and sound quality. It was just absolutely astonishing. But the audiences worldwide didn't really carry on with the same degree of enthusiasm, therefore they discontinued with the major investment into that section of the industry. Of course, we are still getting some films which are made in 3D, but it's not the same. And I think VR will have to be properly tested over a longer period of time and considered, basically in all sorts of ways, whether appropriate and applicable for certain games, because you really wonder whether games like Resident Evil or The Last of Us 2, or the horror stroke survival games will have a major impact on people's sanity, their mental health, and because you are there literally in virtual reality, it looks like it's happening around you, and indeed the sounds and the picture quality are very, very realistic. And therefore, I guess we'll have to wait and see, and we'll need to see what kinds of results we'll be getting. So let's see, we have still one announcement, and that's related to After Party. After Party, we hear, will crash the party for PC and consoles just in time for Halloween. After Party has been premiered several times, and looks like a very, very funny, very community-based, comedic, entertaining, fully communicative, fully interactive type of game, and I really look forward to its release. And we've heard that Night School Studio, the developer, has announced that the hellish adventure game After Party will be released for PC and consoles on October the 29th. In After Party, college graduates Milo and Lola have died and gone to hell. But that isn't the end of the sentence, as one could be freed from the bottomless pit of infernal torture if they can outdrink Satan. It's an incredible pitch for a video game, and like the developer's previous game Oxenfree, the characters and dialogue are charming and very naturalistic. This time there is a twist, as the alcohol the character consumes offers different dialogue options. So, for instance, if Milo and Lola make it out there, the actual life for there is never going to be the same. Completing a storyline on one underworld island may destroy another, and there will be mini-games such as dance-offs, beer pong, chugging competitions, and many other niceties. The game even says you could flirt with Satan. Well, you have to decide for yourself whether that appears to be appealing. After Party will launch for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on the Epic Games Store on October the 29th. So, my dear friends, this was our first video game industry podcast in a somewhat different format. It's separate from the rest of our stream. It's delivered on a different setup, and we are going to be doing this on a daily basis, 5 days a week. And sometimes we'll focus on additional news coming from other sources such as Twitter, GamesRadar.com, Games Informer, IGN, Videogamer.com, and other various video gaming hubs online. We want to keep everyone abreast with the latest news. We want everyone to know what's happening, particularly when it comes to those very big AAA blockbuster exciting games such as Borderlands 3, Gears of War 5, etc. And there are many, many games coming out in the near future. We're very excited by the releases, and I will try to really integrate some audio visuals in the future as well. We just want to really update my friends and community members on this. So the trouble is, when you are streaming live on Twitch, they are very, very strict on what content you can be streaming, and if there's anything which is copyrighted or unlicensed, particularly if it includes music, then the streamer may face a lifelong ban, or indeed they would be given a copyright strike, or there may be many repercussions. So therefore it is very, very important to focus on what is actually possible within the present framework, and that itself is indeed, as it stands, rather constrained. So we are going to be delivering our regular daily video gaming industry news podcast in this format for the time being. We'll hope that, I certainly hope that it is going to be of interest to everyone. You'll find some information in there that is going to be useful in terms of your choices and future purchases, and indeed will keep you abreast with all that's happening out there with our favourite developers. So this was our video gaming industry podcast for the 20th of September 2019. Hope you enjoyed what you heard, and I wish you all a very, very good day.